It feels like it's been forever, but we're back again. Welcome, F1 fans, to the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix qualifying session, the most important session of this revered weekend on the Formula One calendar. Let's see where our drivers line up. Here's your practice report beforehand, though. Fernando Alonso going very well in the Toyota. Less than a tenth down on the three-time champion Valtteri Bottas, but Keita Watanabe in the medium tires has promise in P11. Practice 3, though. Toyota had some engine issues, so they had to stay in the garage. However, on Saturday, some problems seem to be plaguing Watanabe, still in P18. The setup is a very high downforce setup, but Toyota has been investing a lot. And heading into this weekend, they are the second fastest car on the grid, right behind Mercedes, and well clear of McLaren and Red Bull, their closest competitors, and no rain for the weekend. Around the final corner we go. Watanabe's heavy on the power, DRS open. Let's see where he ends up on the grid. Crosses the line now and gets very close to George Russell in the Williams. Down in P16, he's near the drop zone. And Russell, once again, impeding Watanabe's progress. He's right behind the Williams. And he's going to have to back off this lap, surely, because it's been ruined by the Williams car. And Watanabe goes out for a third lap, and he hits the wall. And that's definitely a session over for Watanabe, who's going to have to pray and hope that no one beats him beats his time across the line as he heads into the pit lane. And I'm sure he's going to have a chat with George Russell in the Williams. And that's the end of qualifying 1. Lance Stroll in the McLaren, very, very lofty position in P2. And Watanabe's eliminated in P18 behind the Aston Martins of Ocon and Vettel. And it's going to be a very, very hard day for Watanabe down in the bottom places. Welcome, race fans. The jewel of the Formula One calendar shines anew. We're here in Monte Carlo for one very well-known race. You might have heard of it, the Monaco Grand Prix. And we're here. Let's see what our drivers can do around these tight, twisty, and technical circuits around the Principality of Monte Carlo. Here we go, around the Monaco Grand Prix, one of the shortest laps on the calendar, and one of the slowest as well, with tight walls and tight turns. The drivers are going to have to really vie for space if they want to try and get some overtakes done on this notoriously difficult track. The wider cars, it's going to be a challenge, but it is not impossible. And let's see where our drivers line up onto the grid. And Fernando Alonso, rolling back the years, takes pole position for the Monaco Grand Prix in the Toyota's highest starting position in their short, renewed lifespan here in the Principality. And can they take it? Pole position is possibly the most illustrious position for a driver who's looking to win the race. But the Mercedes are going to be quick off the line, and Watanabe is going to want to pray that he makes some moves, as down in P18, it's not going to be easy for the Japanese driver. But tight and technical, the drivers are raring to go, so let's run through our grid sequence and see where they line up. And here's your starting grid for the 2024 Monaco Grand Prix. Starting off, Fernando Alonso, pole position alongside former teammate Lewis Hamilton. Will things get frosty between these two again as it did in 2007? We'll have to wait and see. Bottas third, Verstappen fourth, Norris fifth, and home hero Charles Leclerc in P6. Sainz 7th, Paris 8th, Stroll 9th, and Gasly 10th, with Giovinazzi 11th, Callum Ilott 12th, Christian Lundgaard right behind in 13th, and George Russell up in 14th place with Esteban Ocon and Nicolas Latifi behind. Vettel and Watanabe lining up alongside Zhou and Tsunoda, and Mazepin and Sato make up the final row on this grid. The drivers are ready to go to formation laps next. Let's see where our drivers end up on the track here today. 5 red lights. We're ready to go around the Principality. It's lights out, and off they go. And Fernando Alonso gets a brilliant start. Keita Watanabe going up the middle, heading out into the first quarter. Weasels his way around the Alpine, and that has to be one of the best opening laps we've seen around the Principality. Watanabe's made up 4 positions in the first corner. Now he's behind the AlphaTauri of Antonio Giovinazzi. Let's see if he can try and get the move off on the medium tires. Watanabe sliding around, heading down towards Mirabeau, down the inside of one, maybe 2 cars going through down the inside of Lance Stroll in the McLaren. There he goes, does another move, down the inside again, surely not on the curb, tries to make an opportunistic move on Gasly, and that's going to hamper Sainz's progress, but Watanabe's up into the points already. That's 9 positions gained on 1 lap. Let's look at that race start again, and that has to be one of the best starts around Monaco we've ever seen, splitting the middle between the Williams and the Aston Martin, going up against another Williams and around. Woo! That was so calculated. It could have been so risky, but just doesn't get the drive out of the corner against Giovinazzi. And let's look at Valtteri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton gets a terrible start off the line. Bottas is just able to weasel his way past his teammate. They're going side by side, actually. Hamilton gets some good traction out on the outside. We don't see moves around the outside very often. Watanabe in 9th place. Let's see what he can do as he rounds through the Nouvelle chicane. Now he's clambering down towards Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri. And, Fernando Alonso actually loses some places. He's down the order in P3. That's not going to look good for him. He started off the race so well as some drivers are already pitting as we head through the final corner with Watanabe on those medium tires, looking to extend his stint and try to make up some track position with the aggressive overcut. Oh my lord, he almost hits Fernando Alonso. That's why the Toyota driver was down the order. He had pit. And let's just see how close they got here. You see Watanabe trying to maximize the apex, and wow, that was so close. That could have been a calamity for the Toyota drivers. And Fernando Alonso, wow, in full speed. That is extremely terrifying.
I can't believe it. They don't have mirrors, these guys.
And Hamilton and Perez up ahead pit off onto the medium compound. Can Watanabe overcut them? We'll see it. And Hamilton gets that. And he almost has another close call.
Just turned in on me.
And that's definitely left Hamilton a little scared. For sure. And here's and Fernando Alonso's caught up to his teammate on 8 medium tires into the Nouvelle chicane. Will the Toyota team call for team orders on their team owner? And yes, they do. Look at that little move to the side as Watanabe gets off the racing line, slows down, and is going to lead the river. Hamilton. No, he squeezes him into Tabak, and that was an orchestrated move to perfection, and Fernando Alonso cannot chase down the leader. You see just how calculated it was off the racing line, and Hamilton tries to get it. Does he clout the wall, actually? Hamilton got very, very close to that wall. And here's Fernando Alonso on the new medium tires. He did not want to get behind his teammate for too long, and he's going to be very grateful that he's now open for the race win.
They have to defend like a lion.
And I think he did defend like a lion, Fernando. Let's see here. As you can see, Watanabe back onto the racing line, and Hamilton, he gets very close to the wall. Thankful not to cloud it and lose some of his front wing. And Hamilton's going to be a little trepidatious about that move.
This guy's pretty crazy, man.
For sure. And Watanabe slides out of that corner. Down the straight we go. Close to Bottas again. Watanabe really liking that close move. And he cuts the wall a little bit. Taps it a little. Watanabe really putting up the stern defense against the Mercedes cars. These are their direct rivals in the championship, and Watanabe is really defending like a lion around these two. As we see Fernando Alonso out of time. He's slow! He's slow! No, Fernando! And his engine's gone! And that's so tragic for a man who was leading the race and doing everything he could have done in this Toyota car, and now he's out of the Monaco Grand Prix. Look at the gap, 15-second gap. This was looking to be a dominant win for Alonso. And through the tunnel, you can see the smoke billowing out of that Toyota. That is a major engine failure. And Fernando Alonso, a man who's done nothing wrong all weekend, pole position, but cannot convert into the race victory.
Move the car. Miss it. No power.
And that is a very, very sad sight for Fernando Alonso, looking for his first win at a renewed Toyota team, and he's going to have to wait a little longer. And through the final corner, and Watanabe is holding up these cars, but for how much longer? He can't do it for long, though, because he's still got to pit off those medium tires. Valtteri Bottas looking for the race lead. Around the final corner, Watanabe just steals the position away, delaying the inevitable, though, for the Toyota drivers. They head up the hill towards Casino Square. Through the tight left-hander he goes. He's going to turn into the right-hander. And Valtteri Bottas is looking to go around the outside, but Watanabe is still defending. Surely this defense is not going to do well for him, because if he continues to stay up in this position, he's going to have to give up places. He's going to lose so many places when he pits off these medium tires, but he's really trying. The hill again we go. Valtteri Bottas close enough, and Watanabe, you can tell those tires have seen their best as he slides, drifts his way through Casino Square, and Valtteri Bottas is going to dive on the inside of Mirabeau, and that's surely the move done. And now he's going to contest not with one, but two Mercedes now, and Watanabe is able to hold at least one of them, but Valtteri Bottas on his new tires. Let's look at this replay. You see, look at that drift. That could have ended so badly, but that just proves that the tire life in those medium compound tires are just gone, and Bottas almost cuts the wall there. He's very, very lucky, as you can see from Bottas' perspective, and you can see just how hard Watanabe, he is trying to push, but he just does not have the tire life to push as hard as he is. And you can see Valtteri Bottas down the inside of Mirabeau, getting so close to that wall. He actually has to move aside in order to avoid making contact, but he ends up making contact with the Toyota driver. Here's from Hamilton's perspective. You can see, ooh, yeah, it's a little move from the left to right, but Bottas does have, it was marginally ahead and is indebted to that space. And Watanabe, ooh, Lewis Hamilton's pitting. So maybe, was there damage to Hamilton's front wing? That's a little, I mean, he's already made his one stop. That's going to be tragic. And here goes Watanabe into the pit lane, and he's going to be filtering out, probably outside of the points. There's a huge train of cars behind him, and he's not until the end of the pit lane, so he's going to be in there for quite a long time. Here he goes, entering into the pit box he goes, and let's see how quickly they can put on those soft compound tires. It's a decent stop from the Toyota boys, 2.3 seconds. But he's down in 11th, and Ilott is making his way down the main straight in the Alpine. What can Watanabe do? And Callum Ilott takes the position away from Watanabe, who from the heights of P2, helping his team fight for the win. He's down in P12. Closing up to Callum Ilott. 9 laps remaining in this Monaco Grand Prix. Through the Nouvelle chicane we go, and Watanabe is trying to push these soft compound tires. He's got better, softer tires than the leaders. Ilott being held up by the stricken Haas and trying to lap the Haas driver of, I believe it's Nikita Mazepin. Oh, it almost gets in the way of Watanabe. He's just hoping to make maybe a move into Tabak, but I think he's going to have to wait a little longer. He's going to get the DRS down the straight, though. What can Watanabe do? He's pushing the car to its maximum, but the DRS straight is not as powerful as it is around other circuits on the calendar, and Watanabe is just going to have to settle behind Callum Ilott with 8 laps remaining. What is he going to be able to do? Surely those soft tires will degrade quickly, especially at the rate he's pushing him. Ilott makes a little mistake. Watanabe tries to go around the outside through Casino Square, but he just is unable to make the move, and that little attempt at a move is probably going to hinder his chances at a race at the points now. Watanabe still behind Callum Ilott, but now he's being hindered by Sebastian Vettel and the Aston Martin. Blue flags waving, and for the man who back in 2018 was complaining about blue flags to the marshals, is not obeying them now, as Watanabe has to make the infamous Tabak dive bomb, Raskas dive bomb, apologies, into the square he goes, and around the Aston Martin. Valtteri Bottas has done nothing wrong. He seized the opportunity, and Toyota's heartbreak means Finland's fame as he crosses the line to win the Monaco Grand Prix and extend his championship advantage at the top of the table. And Watanabe, unfortunately though, in frustration, clouts the wall, and he's out of the points. And for one, Toyota is going to be scratching their heads and commiserating, and commiserations to them, because while Watanabe does get driver of the day for his robust defense, it is little to do to help with the pain of losing the race victory. For Valtteri Bottas on top, the king of the principality, Max Verstappen, P2, and Lando Norris takes the 3rd place for McLaren Racing. Then that is going to be exquisite for their points tally. But Kato Watanabe down in P12. Lewis Hamilton, who had to make another pit stop, does get the fastest lap and is able to seize one measly point. But that DNF beside Fernando Alonso's name is going to be pain for the Spaniard and also for the Japanese team. Valtteri Bottas' lead over the top of the standings is 34 points over Max Verstappen and Toyota. If they want to make a championship challenge, is going to have to do a lot more if they want to make up the points gap. We head to Azerbaijan next for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but hopefully we'll see you there as Valtteri Bottas and raise the champagne, and he knows that his road to a 4th world title is surely inevitable.